Welcome back, world, to the Verbal Intercourse Podcast. Got your host, Nick Walker, back in the building with you today. Shout out to everybody that's been listening, supporting the podcast, sharing, subscribing to it. Really appreciative over here at Verbal Intercourse Jackson. Today, got a very special guest in the building, Mrs. Muuy Mal.
What's up?
She stopped by the podcast. We gonna have a good conversation, good vibes, and we gonna be chilling. So how you feeling today?
I'm feeling a little nervous.
What you nervous for?
Because like the record button's on. And it's like a conversation. It's not like I got, you know what I'm saying, I got my bars ready.
Well, I mean, you know, you as an MC, I think you probably always got your bars ready.
Oh yeah.
In some form or fashion.
No, for sure.
So talk to me a little bit about how you got started in the music industry, where you from, what artist inspired you to be the artist that you are?
Ooh, that's a lot. How did I get started in music in general? Like, I really started, I'll say, rapping when I was really little. My brother, he was really into music. He's old enough to be my dad. He's like 20 years older than me. But wow. Yeah, so, you know, he was coming up as hip hop was on the rise, like mid 90s, you know what I'm saying? And so when I was very young, you know, 99, 2000, he had me listening to stuff like Outkast and like Black Star and, you know what I'm saying? So, and he also would ride me and my brother around and have us freestyle in the back of the car. So I'm like 4 years old talking about like, yo, like, you know? So that's where my love for hip hop like really came in. Music, man, I've always felt connected, like really connected to music. I don't know how to explain it. It's a spiritual experience. Like sound is such an interesting like sense for us. Mm-hmm. It's an interesting thing to experience. But music, it's a soul thing. So I've been into that forever. I've always listened to all types of different genres. I am from Mississippi. So I was born in Mississippi. I was raised in Memphis, though. I lived in Memphis for most of my life. Went out to California for college and then came to Jackson State, transferred to Jackson State. And I've been here for most of my adult life. So, like, I'm like a naturalized Jew. Really? You know? And then people outside don't understand it. I'll be like, yeah, I'm like a Jew. For real. And they be like, you're Jewish? And I'm like, nah, you don't get it.
Yeah. Real talk. Like, I feel like if you ain't from Mississippi, like I know I lived in Virginia for a year. And, you know, I would naturally say Jew. Right. And you know, nobody's there from Jackson, so they ain't really understand what I was saying. Like, you mean I'm Jewish? Nah, like... Yeah. I mean, I get why you don't understand, but, you know, you have to be from Jackson to understand it. But, yeah, that's interesting. So you having roots in Memphis, are you inspired by any Memphis music right now or in the past? Because I feel like they really making a good run for it.
Man, I am absolutely inspired by Memphis. Like, honestly, I'm very glad that I grew up in Memphis because the hip hop scene there was crazy. I also grew up there in a pivotal time in hip hop when 3 6 Mafia had just started popping, you know? Like at one point I lived next door to Frazier Boy's girlfriend. I used to see him and Lil White outside smoking blunts, and I was in 7th grade with my little backpack like, what's up, Lil White? What's up, Frazier Boy? They're like, shh. Like, I'm so Memphis, but that sound changed everything, you know? So all those things coming together, like different influences, it definitely, you know, contributed to my sound right now.
So would you say hip hop is your favorite genre? If it is, then what's your second favorite genre?
Ooh, I don't like to play the favorite genre game. I don't, because, okay, so.
Better question. Who do you listen to the most? Like if you chilling, or if you going to the gym, or who do you listen to the most? Who do you be like, okay, these are the vibes, or this is the artist that inspires me the most?
One of the most inspirational artists of our generation is obviously Kanye West. So I feel like that's kind of a given in a way, but I've always felt very connected to the things that he did. So the things that he does. So I definitely listen to hip hop the most, then probably neo soul. What's weird is like, I'm kind of scared to say this. I might get a card pulled or something.
Go ahead.
But I don't like R&B is almost one of my least favorites in a weird way. Like I like progressive stems of R&B, but not just the stuff that everybody else just goes crazy like the 2000s, early 2000s R&B. Like I can vibe with it, but I don't just like throw it on like a lot of people do. You know what I mean?
You know, I definitely agree with that because I'm the same way. It's a lot of the R&B, the 2000s R&B that I really don't appreciate that much. But I can say like soul, 70s soul.
Ooh, 70s. That is, so you just got me right there.
Yeah,
yep, that's it.
Because 70s soul, you know, and it progresses to the 80s. The 90s is still special. You know, you start to get people in there like Brandy, Monica, people, TLC, Boys to Men. But when it gets to the 2000s and even today, I be like, I don't really like these artists that much.
Yeah. Things have taken a weird turn, right? It's like, what direction are we really going in? I was contemplating that the other day, but what you said, like, man, 70s, that is 100% my number one. And I really like 50s music too. Like
the 50s?
Yeah.
Really?
Like the Platters.
Okay.
Like I'll Be Sure, like like I like to listen to stuff like that. Really the roots of things. Like I listen to bluegrass, I listen to heavy metal, screamo, classical, jazz, all of it. Like
so when it comes to you making music and you being produced, do all of those elements like in your mind kind of collaborate? Is that what you're trying to make as far as like your projects, like a collaboration of those different elements of music to make a unified sound? Would you say that?
I hardly ever strive for a sound. I feel like I am a vessel for music and it flows through me. Like it could be whether it's I'm inspired by the beat, but a lot of times I write without a beat. A lot of times I just write from my heart, and then I find a beat that matches it that literally was destined for it. It'd be crazy sometimes. You would think that I wrote it to the beat. But I really just write based on what I'm feeling, what's going on in my mind. And it's like I said, it's a feeling. Like it's something that you feel. So whatever, I can work with whatever beat I have as long as it's something that I like. So if it does get me like, oh yeah, like this is channeling my inner Paramore and like, you know, like then yeah, I might put a little, you know, some of that influence on it.
Yeah. But, so I definitely feel that. I feel like just from listening to your music, you know, you're an exceptional lyricist. And
Thank you.
And like my favorite artist, I mean, you can see on the wall some. Nas is my favorite artist.
Yeah.
So bars is, you know, that's where I live at. If you got some shit to say, if you're rapping in a creative manner, if you telling stories, imagery, alliteration, I look for all that in bars. You know what I'm saying? That's what I look for. And what I noticed with you is that your cadence is crazy. Like, and it's like jab. You like a boxer, you know what I'm saying? And I find it interesting because it's kind of like, you know, being a female in hip hop. You seeing some women out there now that spit like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like it's some women that you know, they rap like I look at the City Girls for instance. They can rap, of course, but are they like barred up? You wouldn't really consider them being barred up. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like as a woman being barred up, it kind of brings that attention to them as far as like a man. Like you might like like you brought up as a woman, but can you spar with the men? Like, do you think like if you hop on a track with a man that can really rap, can you like just hold your own?
Can I hold my own? I'm probably gonna carry the shit, CBH. But on another note, he probably gonna cover his face, CBH. Yeah. But it's not always about that though, for real. Like I fuck with the City Girls. I really like.
I fuck with them too.
I write some things that are purely for entertainment because I appreciate not just like I can appreciate the depth of things, but life isn't always about that, and I feel like music doesn't have to always be deep.
For sure,
it can be fun. It can be stupid. Like I'm goofy as hell, so like when I started rapping about goofy stuff. Like when I was younger, I would just say stuff just to make my friends laugh, and that's what I rapped about. And then it became an outlet. Like I was like, oh, this is like poetry. Like I could sit and like stare at a tree and just like pour out my feelings,
Right.
So yeah, it's not always about that. I can get ratchet, on the track, or I can get like just, it may not make any sense, silly stuff. So
yeah, I definitely feel that. I think music, it has many emotions. I mean, today you could want to, be outside hanging out. You want to vibe where you hanging out. Like I don't ride around. I'm not finna go to the club listening to some certain like introspective artists doing Jackson State Homecoming. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it's definitely dependent on the mood, But I think I also appreciate artists the most if they capture the times as well.
Yeah.
Like for instance, like Drake put out a album, Certified Lover Boy, didn't say nothing about the pandemic, didn't say nothing about all the shit that's going on in America.
Which is weird, right? Because he usually pretty much interpolates what's going on.
Yeah. But it's a lot of artists that do that. You see what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of artists that make music and they don't capture the time, which is like if you don't capture the time, how are you relating to the fans? That's why I always think I challenge artists to do. If they ever ask my opinion, I'd be like, well, this shit is cool, but like nigga, who listening to your music is gonna actually relate to what the fuck you saying?
But one thing about that though, if they are capturing the time, there's music that's timeless. Like we were just talking about how like people be holding on to verses for years, or like just anything for years before they release it. So it's got to be something like if I'm talking about like wearing a mask and then I release it 8 years from now, people might be like, what? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I definitely feel that. Yeah, because you want your music to be timeless, and so yeah, definitely.
But it should be like definitely a bookmark of history. So I can appreciate that too.
I mean, if you did put out a song 8 years later talking about a mask, I feel like everybody in the world went through this shit. So it'll still be
not the 8-year-olds.
Not the 8, maybe not.
Not the 8 and belows. Yeah.
But that shit'll still be kind of relatable. So to switch lanes a little bit, we later this weekend, we got Juneteenth coming up, and I've always enjoyed mingling with my black people. I enjoy mingling with my black people every day, but especially during Juneteenth. But the difference is now is that they have actually made it a federal holiday.
Right.
So now major corporations are trying to commercialize it. Like, and I know Walmart, they faced a lot of adversity because they came out with like some Juneteenth ice cream or some shit.
Man, I want to try that shit. That sounded good. It was like red velvet.
But they took it off the shelves though.
I'm mad because that was a great way to celebrate, man. I'm telling you, I would have had my Juneteenth ice cream.
That's interesting. A lot. Hey, I feel that though.
But I do understand, like, the nuances of why it is really like side eye.
Like what the fuck y'all trying to do? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like they made some shit. They said Dollar Tree coming out with some stuff for Juneteenth, like African colored party covered, like party table covers and stuff like that. And everybody, it was so much backlash from social media that Walmart actually took their stuff off the shelves. And I wanted to know,
backlash about them taking it off?
No, backlash
and
about
until
them.
They took it off. Okay. Yeah. Pushing them to take it off.
Yeah. So I wanted to know, how do you feel about Juneteenth and the commercialization of like Black Lives Matter and stuff like that, like on a large scale? Because I feel like it's just one of those things where they trying to give us these imagery victories. Because all we really want to do is to not be discriminated against, not get shot in the street, stuff like that. But they like, here niggas, here goes some ice cream, celebrate Juneteenth.
And my nigga ass gonna be right there. Y'all got some chicken too? No, but I don't feel a way about it because what are holidays? Like we know what are holidays in America?
Pagan.
They're all
made up.
They're all commercialized. Yeah. Like they're all messed up. Like we act like Christmas is about, the birth of Jesus, right. But it's so commercialized. We act like Cinco de Mayo is a Mexican. Cinco de Mayo is not even celebrated in all of Mexico. It's right. The Independence Day of a city in Mexico. Like right. We act like all these different things have really just gone from what they were supposed to initially represent to being, commercialized. And Juneteenth is now one of them. So I feel like people who hold that dear to them, so we can still celebrate Juneteenth our own way. Now that it's a federal holiday, shit, we got work off now. So, and there's ice cream.
I definitely feel, I agree with you because I feel like, they might have commercialized it, but it's not going to change how I celebrate it.
Right, absolutely. As long as it doesn't get lost there, as long as, we're keeping our culture alive and keeping the narrative that's necessary that we want to let our kids know and keep alive, basically.
Now, one thing I do wish, because, I haven't done my research on these major corporations, but I wish that if they are going to make money off of selling Juneteenth merch and food items, then to donate a proceed of that to some black nonprofits where that, could help inner city youth or help whatever, stop crime or police reform or, something like that. But shit, white folks going to make money off of shit. You know what I'm saying?
No, absolutely. And then that's where it does get troublesome because the thing about all those other holidays I named, it's not really close to heart here. You know what I mean? Most of the world is Christian, or maybe like a third of the world or something. I haven't checked the statistics. Cinco de Mayo, that's not something that's really just closely rooted here, but slavery in America and, the actual freedom of slaves, like that's something that is really close to
home.
Yeah, it's close to home. So it's something that we shouldn't just completely commercialize. So I could see the sentiment there of basically having some authenticity around it and having some, like, reparations is a big thing, you know? Yeah, so, yeah. I mean, how you gonna have Juneteenth a federal holiday but not have a little, giving back to the community? It's really definitely counterproductive for white people to be profiting off of Juneteenth things when it is literally, the opposite of the argument.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's why people been pissed off for the most part. So I definitely agree with that. So we're gonna switch lanes again. It's hot as hell outside.
Man, you know what? Hold up.
she pulled out the 64 ounce.
try and stay hydrated.
I definitely feel that, man. It's hot as hell outside, and it's officially hot girl summer. You know.
Oh yeah.
So, and also in the news wave, Lori Harvey and Michael B. Jordan, which is like seemed like everybody had a fucking think piece within a week span, and I'm kind of tired of reading it. So, but I wanted to ask you, since you are a young black woman, and you said you're 27,
Mm-hmm.
so you know you might feel a little bit different about it, but at 25 years old, which is what I think Lori Harvey is, where like if the right guy came, would you had been a right guy or right woman? If the right guy or right woman came, would you had been ready to settle down? Because I would say I've been reading these statuses and think pieces, and they saying, well, she should have just been ready to settle down because he's the right guy. Like they fucking know these people. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Do you think 25 is too young to settle down in 2022?
That is a very loaded question because there are so many intricacies. You know, I can't say, like, people like to speak on stuff, have their opinion or whatever. That's just the culture of the internet these days. But I mean, that's in general humans. But we don't really know why they broke up. Was it because she wasn't ready? Was it because, you know, XYZ? People have all their speculations. At the end of the day, that's their business. But if we're going to, you know, choose one of these hypothetical situations, like would a 25-year-old be ready? I feel like it's as cliche as a lot of these things sound, like things that are the most cliche really be the most true a lot of the times. Like if something, what's for you won't miss you. If it's for you, what is it? What's the saying? Where they say, if you love someone, leave them. If they're yours, they'll come back to you. If not, you know, that type of thing. So that's how I really feel about it. But it could, you know, it could have gone smoothly. And, you know, whether either person thought they were ready or not, it's just up to how the events unfold. And I think everybody's different. I don't think you can put all 25-year-olds in one box or even all 25-year-old black females in one box. I couldn't say. But me at 25, even me now, I think everybody's always a work in progress. Mm-hmm. When are you ever ready for anything? I think being ready for something is an illusion. The way you get ready for something is you jump into it and you adjust. You adjust to being in the new position, and that's how you become ready for something.
I definitely feel that. I think, of course, I wasn't ready to be married at 25. Looking back on it, I think growing up, you think, okay, I'm gonna be married, have children, and have a house by 25. Which is the
who thinks that?
Growing up, I feel like a lot of people did. Like, because when you're about 14, 25 seems like a very, very adult age.
It sounds like it.
Until you get 25 and you still really a child. I mean, scientifically, your frontal lobe is just developing to its peak. Yeah. So you're just starting to be able to make sound decisions. Mm-hmm. So the interesting thing about this is that, you know, Michael B. Jordan is 35 years old.
That, I think, played a huge part in it. I mean, how could it not? That's an undeniable age gap right there. Right. Especially if the younger person is 25, unless she was depending on him in some way. I didn't see that, you know.
Right. And it's also one of those things that, you know, the rumor said that basically he tried to get engaged with her or want to take the relationship to the next level, commitment, marriage, stuff like that. And a 35-year-old, you know, that's to be expected. Mm-hmm. But for how could y'all not had conversation about this? You know, like when I get down on one knee you know, you kind of want to know that she's gonna say yes.
You already know.
Yeah.
Usually by the time you get to that point, y'all know where you stand.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I just thought the whole situation is weird, but it, like I said, it's just a rumor, and you know, don't nobody really know, like, but them two niggas.
We have no idea.
Yeah. But you know,
for all we know, they were never even together, and they had a year-long contract to boost each other's brand. And, all right, I'm gonna help Michael look like he's not gay and he likes black women, and Lori, you coming out with a skincare line? All right, bet. Right. Oh, by the way, Steve, like, since you took Steve's last name, it's gonna boost him up a little bit too. Like, you know, it's all, I feel like it's all business exchanges. What we really see is not the real, even in terms of like all these reality shows and everything. These people will like unfollow each other, post what are they called? Post subs and all that type of stuff. That shit could be fake. That shit is fake as hell. Like, yeah.
It's fake as hell.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, honestly, I feel like some of it could be, you know,
I think that
a little bit real.
I think this Michael B. Jordan shit kind of true, cause
you got a feeling.
Yeah, because niggas had tweeted, they said this nigga not that good of an actor to be acting like this, so he really hurt. Like,
honestly,
I think he's a great actor, but
I don't like to speak on stuff, but like, honestly, I felt like they like looked kind of awkward as a couple. I didn't see it happening.
Yeah, I think it was just one of those situations where you have this woman who's being judged for being young, and I think a lot of women, they get judged prematurely, you know, for how they act young. I mean, you 25 years old, you having fun, you know what I'm saying? You talking to this guy, that guy, it doesn't matter. You in your 20s, you know what I'm saying?
So much shit will have happened by the time she's 30. People aren't even going to remember this.
Right.
They're not.
Well, I don't know. Twitter, they pull up receipts. So
that's true. No, I won't say that everybody will just forget about it, but I don't think it'll be as prevalent. Like,
nah.
I'm trying to think of something that's faded away that we've forgotten about.
The thing about her, though, is that I don't think I've ever heard her say a word. Right.
Like, in my head, she's mute. In my head, I see.
Yeah, like.
And that's it.
Like, so when, you know, I don't
know what she sounds like.
Right. I was just like, I don't personally know Michael B. Jordan, but for him to, you know, go to this length, you know, it was one of those celebrity couples where I felt like they were trying to put in the same class as like Russell Wilson and Sierra. These couples that the black community is just infatuated with, and this causes this men versus women conflict all day on Twitter. Like it's just one of those things.
that part.
And I feel like we the only community that argue back and forth on social media all day.
No.
You don't think so?
No. I think that we're probably, first of all, us being young black people who consume this stuff, we consume it a lot. So it looks like that to us. But I think that that Black Twitter, you know, Black Twitter is definitely the most like lit, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the most live.
Yeah, for sure.
But we're not the only ones going back and forth like this.
I guess I'm biased because everybody that I'm following and my whole timeline black.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah. So I wonder what the fuck they argue about on their shit, cause Black Twitter is like where I'm at, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what normal Twitter look like. Even my background black.
Oh my God, they changed the chairs at Nobu.
Did
you see that?
Yeah, real tough. Like some shit like that. So let's switch lanes again. Do you have a project coming out soon?
Do I have a project coming out soon?
Yeah, hot question. The people want to know.
Wouldn't you like to know? I do have a project coming out soon.
Dope.
I do. I have a couple of projects that I'm working on separately. I don't have release dates, so I'm not saying like, you know, I'm dropping next month. You know what I'm saying? Tentative. But I definitely have to drop soon, and I really want to get a project of something that people can just go back and listen to. I'm the artist that, like, you'll see me perform, or you'll see me like on this, or you'll meet me somewhere, or you'll see a video that somebody else posted, but then you go to my page and you're like, where the
music?
So I really do need to put something up. I'm getting all that stuff together, but you know, I just left corporate America, so I'm kind of like getting myself back into this space of being an artist and just like being me, like figuring out my life path. I feel like I'm at a place in life where I'm figuring this shit out. So I don't have answers like, when am I dropping? You know?
And then you kind of touched on it though. You kind of touched on it earlier. You were just saying like, you know, when are we ever ready?
Right. Exactly.
Like I feel like once you, what I call it, hop off the porch. Mm-hmm. You know, you're gonna be in full stride. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because you know, if you was trash, I'd tell you. Mm-hmm. I'm a realist type of guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say, hey, you trash. I'd be like, hey, log out for me, honey.
You'll say it in Black Twitter like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yes, but you know, I think once you really get going and I feel like once all that positive energy comes back from the music that you're going to put out, because it's going to be dope, I think, you know, sky's the limit. Because, I mean, you rap, you dance, you got the whole look. Do you sing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know on one track you say something about, you know.
You like my MC skills? Wait till I hit you with the melodies.
Right. I was going to paraphrase. But
yeah.
Exactly.
That's the one?
Yeah. And I was just like, oh, okay, she can sing. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I meant to ask you that anyway. So, but yeah, I think once you drop, it's going to be time.
I appreciate that, for real.
Do you have a plan for a rollout? Like, do you have a plan?
That's the thing. This is what I'm trying to get together now. Mm-hmm. I don't really have much help when it comes to my image, branding and marketing. So both parts of that. I'm like, what do I do with that? And then we already talked about the whole perfectionist thing. So I'm like, I'm getting away from it, but I'm like, I'd rather not, you know, just fuck something up than post it and make a mistake. So I'm getting out of that, and I'm going to step back from being so much of a perfectionist, but I am an artist, you know, so I don't want to release things that I'm not proud of. I don't want to do anything that I'm not proud of. So I'm kind of walking a tightrope between, come on, like, let's go put this, let's get this show on the road, and doing things the right way.
Yeah, definitely feel that. I think when it comes to podcasting, for me, especially if you listen to my earlier podcast, like, you can see the growth and development and how I transition the sound, conversation. I think I just wanted to hop off the porch. I didn't care how it sounded at first, but it needed to come out, and I needed to say, okay, this is what I did good. This is what I need to get better in, and then I just consistently develop. I still listen to my podcast every time, multiple times, just to be like, okay, this is good. This is what I need to develop at. This is what I need to change.
Yeah, you have to reflect.
Yeah, and I think once you start just dropping music, I think you will probably do the same thing, dropping visuals and stuff. Because I think visuals is what really get people popping. Like, And people gotta, I feel like an independent artist, it's tough because you gotta have your money up to really make a good splash, I feel like. Or if you don't have your money up, you gotta have a team of people that's willing to create with you and believe in you.
Man, you are saying some words right now. Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the two, and that's kind of where I've been struggling. It's like I have so many people who believe in me, who help me with so many different things. Like, I really appreciate all the producers, the engineers, even dancers, vocal coaches, just all other artists. Like, I have so much, like, I have such a great village around me. It's just when it comes to certain things, the release, the rollout, I'm like, who's gonna help me? And I feel like the people who specialize in those types of things are like, $800,
Right?
two racks. Like, not that I, couldn't do it myself, but I think we have a bias when it comes to ourselves. So it's like, a lot of things that I could do for other people, it's hard to do for myself. Like, I love cleaning up for other people. I love cooking for other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love working out when I'm helping somebody else work out. Now, all that shit by myself sometimes can be another story. But yeah, it's like you said, like, that's how you calibrate. Like, you just start doing stuff, and then you're able to figure out, like, find your footing. So yeah, that's just where we just need to dive in. And part of that is tapping into my mindset of abundance and of God's got me and of, all the things yeah, exactly.
Positivity.
Exactly. The things I was saying before, what's for you is for you, etc. Like, as long as it's not something I don't believe in, or, if there's no evil intentions behind it, or
no gimmicks.
Yeah. Then I feel like, how can I go wrong? Yeah,
I think when you drop it's gonna be perfect timing for you, and I think that shit is gonna go well. I support you, Verbal Intercourse Jackson. We support you. Shout out to Miss Muuy Mal on the podcast today. Very grateful to have her on. Great conversation, great vibes, and we out. Peace.